I think the definition of greatness is to inspire the people next to you. It's not something that lives and dies with one person. It's how can you inspire a person to then in turn inspire another person that then inspires another person. And that's how you create something that I think lasts forever. And I think that's our challenge as people, is to figure out how our story can impact others and motivate them in a way to create their own greatness.
Welcome to the Welcome to the 3 on 3 podcast. It's your guy, your host, Hans Luador here with my two compadres, Evan Butler Sands. What's going on with you, Ev?
Very happy to be here. Very happy to see y'all.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. My other main man, Lou. What it do, Lou?
No, you already know. Let's get it cracking.
Yes, sir. And as always, we do have the pod mobber with us behind the scenes, coaching us, making sure we continue to be, yes, sir, making sure we continue to be the best podcast basketball wise that you've ever heard. Now, I'm going to go off script a little bit and I'm going to pull the pod mamba in, man. Go ahead and do your victory lap, man. We're going to throw it up for him real quick. I know my boy Ev ain't too happy, but we're going to give my
What's
guy.
happening? What's happening?
What's going on, man? We're gonna congratulate your LA Dodgers on the
Let's
World
go.
Series win, man. So congratulations. We're not complete haters here, you know. Shout out to you, sir. Shout out to you.
That's a Freddie Freeman. Shout out to Scary Freddie.
I knew it was over when Han said, "Oh, the New York Liberty won." Well, now the trifecta's got to happen. The Yankees coming up, the Mets coming up. You got the Knicks coming up. I knew it was over. I knew you guys were gonna mess up something over there in New York.
Wow.
I didn't sign up for this, but I'll let it be. Congratulations, sir. I'm not a hater. Hater had to be against my team, but yeah.
It's hard to gloat when Evan's so dejected like this. So I don't take pleasure in this laying down and just not giving a fight. So
I mean,
you don't take joy in this victory. It's not as sweet as you want it to be.
I can't enjoy it at all. And I also can't enjoy it when I look.
Yankees give up a fight? Like, how much of a fight did the Yankees give?
Bro, I've never seen a fifth inning like that. Anyways, what are we talking about? This isn't a baseball podcast. This is a basketball podcast. We didn't get right, Hans. Come on.
You're right. My bad, man. Sidetracked us. My bad. I was giving y'all your moment. To have your little baseball on there. But shout out to you guys. My bad, Ev. But hey, man, they got one. You know, they put up the fight, man. So what can you do? You get them next year, man.
LA's winning too much, man. Between Kendrick and now this, I'm getting a little aggravated.
They need to be humbled. I feel you. Anybody know the Rams record? No, nobody. It's okay.
Hey, they just came out with a pretty impressive overtime win over the weekend. So
they did. Oh, okay. Got you.
I can tell you the Rams record. Yeah, they're 4-4. They won 3 straight, gained healthy finally. Oh, the league is scared right now. I'm just saying though.
I think that's because Puka's out here throwing punches, but that's a whole nother conversation.
All right, dude. It was barely a push. It was barely a slap. Come on, man.
Those LA guys are thugs.
I'm telling you. Cooper Cup's on my fantasy team.
You want to talk about Game 4 Yankees Dodgers when that thug was trying to rip Mookie's elbow out of his socket?
You saw it. Listen, wow. we had to bring the fight to you, okay? Somebody had to take it into their own hands. It started the rally that got the team going. So, hey, we appreciate it, okay?
Expect nothing less.
Money well spent. They shouldn't have banned him for Game 5. You see what happened.
I love to hear it. All right, guys, let's get us back on track. My apologies. I took us there. Let's rein it back in, man. Basketball. We're here. So we need to kind of check ourselves. I think, guys, we may have pulled the trigger a little too hastily on certain teams here. So we're just going to go right into it. Are we trigger happy or were we trigger happy on announcing or declaring certain teams to be elite or to look like they're dominating? And did we leave out some other teams? Primarily, Golden State's looking not too bad. The Suns looking not too bad. Cleveland, they have not lost. So were we trigger happy on just primarily focusing on OKC and the Celtics? Ev, I'm going to start off with you. What do you think is going on? And we're going to start off with the Golden State Warriors first. What do you think is going on with the Golden State Warriors, who are down Clay? They're not necessarily super young. What do you think is going on with them that they're starting off and looking pretty decent? Outside of Steph Curry having a little ankle injury for one game, real quick.
Well, I think with Golden State, and first off, yeah, we were quick to dismiss them from the standpoint of definitely didn't see them even being in the playoff picture this year, especially after going out in the play-in last year. Last we see them losing to the Kings, Klay Thompson looking horrible on the court.
0
They
points.
0 points. They lose Clay in the off season. They strike out, and then in negotiations for potentially getting Paul George before he goes to the Sixers. Didn't make any headway in trying to get Larry Markkinen, and only able to sign a couple role players in the offseason. Buddy Hield, DeAnthony Melton, Kyle Anderson. Players that are solid names, but that we didn't expect to move the needle of this aging team that hadn't reached heights in a couple years. So to see them come out to the start that they've come out to only one loss through 6 games, like you said, Steph being out for 3 of those games, to see them sitting at 5-1 thus far, I don't think any of us saw that coming. But they're doing it by picking up their pace. Third in the league in points scored per game right now, locking in defensively. Second in the league in points allowed per game through 6 games, and it's early, but it's been a collective of role players just stepping up. One, first and foremost, I got to shout out is my guy Buddy Hield, one player that
Yes.
I've liked since Oklahoma come out, averaging 22 a game. Only one game that he scored under 20 in the 6 so far, primarily coming off the bench, but really fitting into that shooter's role. Dare I say that Klay Thompson role, that space and movement and transition is fitting his game well. And what you're seeing right now is just a vet that has always had the green light, whatever team that he's been on, for once, at least for the first couple weeks of the season, really looking like he's in a role that suits him well.
Right.
So I would say that, and then the collective defense. We heard Draymond come out at the beginning of the season say everybody's talking about Bam, everybody's talking about Rudy, all these other players, but it seems like they forgot about Dre. He's still the fulcrum defensively, and so his demeanor, his intensity has spread to the collective team from a defensive identity. So right now you got a team that's playing veteran, playing collectively, and taking pride in what they're trying to do. Do I think it'll make
Is Draymond ever going to be a defensive player of the year conversation though?
I think he's gonna remain top 4.
I have a simple question: is he ever going to be in defensive player of the year conversation?
I think so. I think
only if his team is winning.
yeah,
I think
if
only if his team is winning.
yeah, or above expectation.
He will never be above Bam in the conversation, and we know Bam is never going to get it. So
I mean, listen, Cat may have something to say about that, but we can keep going.
Jesus.
Yeah, listen, you teed it up.
Gosh.
You teed it up, but
Did you just say Cat? Oh,
listen,
Big
man,
Meow,
44
Big Meow, Big Purr,
Big 44,
Big
13
Meow
on Bam's
out here,
neck.
man.
Yeah, that guy.
Big-
Who
Big
we're talking
Purr.
the Warriors right now. but
Oh
you-
my
you
gosh!
brought
Here
up
we go.
Bam.
Oh my
God.
gosh! Oh
Listen,
my
man.
gosh!
Listen,
Oh
man.
my gosh!
Defensive player of the year, man. Don't get 44 dropped on your neck. That's all I'm saying.
Here we go. Here we go.
All right,
Here we go.
let's
Look,
catch a
man.
gill into y'all. But
Look.
Oh
But keep it going.
Jesus!
Keep it going. But Warriors,
See,
yeah.
now
But
you
How
guys, this is why you guys will never win anything
I tell you,
because of a
man,
statement like that.
all
Patrick
these
Ewing,
all these
you a
statements
Lou?
blasphemy.
Let
will
me ask you this about
never
Blasphemy, bro. Let's move
before we
on.
get
listen,
to
man.
before we
You
get to
hate them.
Nick's
Never
Nick
mind.
slander.
Never mind. New Year, same
what do
haters,
you
man. Let's go.
what are you seeing in terms of what Ev was saying?
Look,
And I know Lou, you early on were a little critical of Kerr's coaching because he did get a solid foundation from Mark Jackson. Are
yeah,
we now seeing credence to Kerr's system, i.e., Buddy Hield fitting in that and flourishing in it, right?
yeah, yeah,
I.e., these players having more time under their belt to get acclimated to the system, to
yeah.
get acclimated to how he runs his motion offense. Are we seeing that? Or is this just a soft schedule? I
Look,
mean,
see, and look, you already hit the nail on the head. You know the truth in your heart. You know what I mean? That's why you
my
made that
heart.
in your heart. That's why you said that back half of your statement. But I think two things can be true. Kurt's coaching. I mean, obviously he's had all this time, right, to prove what he's been able to do, right? So, and then working with these players, building solid foundation and running a system, he's had plenty of success. We see that, but and also not having Clay does give somebody like Buddy Hill the option, right, to flourish a little more. Now you're in a system where even though Clay hadn't been playing as great as in the past, he was still given that nod of respect, right, for being one of the original people to build the Golden State Warrior team to what it is, right? So he would still get the preference when it came to whether it's shot selection and so on. So you if Clay's still in this, does Buddy Hill just become another glorified, Harrison Barnes, Andrew Wiggins, right? But now we've seen him in a position where now you don't have that barrier of Klay Thompson, and he's able to flourish in the system that makes sense for him. But the reality is, in terms of what we're talking about, I don't believe we're being trigger happy at all. Look at this schedule. Who have they played of note? Who have they played of note? Nobody. So now I'm looking forward to seeing what they do in the next 5 games where you go, you're playing Boston, you're playing Memphis, you're playing Cleveland, and you're playing Oklahoma City. Now, if they can string some wins on in
and
that stretch,
Dallas.
and Dallas as well. So those next 5 games is really going to tell me what identity this Golden State Warriors team has. So far, they haven't played anybody of note with a
All
veteran
right,
team
all
like
right.
that.
I'm sorry, man. I let it pass one time, but you said it again. Nobody will know. They played Portland first. Listen, you disrespect me once, I let it slide. All right, and you can come through and disrespect my squad again. Okay, listen, man.
Hey,
You my fam. I love you, but you're not gonna sit here and say it twice in my face back to back. Just like, yeah,
hey,
they play
you know
nobody of
what?
note. They play
You know
nobody of
what?
note. All
You
right,
know what?
Lou.
It was the
I get
first
it.
game. You got the first game jitters.
I
Getting back,
get
you
it.
shaking the rust off, shaking the rust off.
Jeez.
A veteran team like that, I expect them to be able to win these types of games just from the leadership that they have on the floor and on the coaching staff.
Man, this disrespect here
What,
in
Evan?
this
What is
podcast,
a
man.
deep breath for?
No, I agree with you from a schedule standpoint. No, they haven't played anybody, and so that's why I'm not sitting there saying, "Oh,
Oh, you
we're
just
we're looking
piling
at a
on.
team that's going to be my bad, man. Like, threat to be like top 4 in the West, so we got a playoff threat on our hands." What I'm saying is, I didn't expect this team to make the playoffs. I thought the Golden State run was done. So to win games
Based on their
against,
schedule, this don't mean they're gonna make the playoffs.
I feel you, but in a competitive West, winning the majority of your games against the teams that you're supposed to win is a
That's true.
difference in making the playoffs and not. They beat New Orleans twice, right? New Orleans gonna be right there with them in that 7-9, 7-10 range. So now you've beat them twice. You beat them again. You've won the season series against them.
Mhm.
So things like that. Like I expected them to even struggle from that standpoint. So that's why I say for them to, it's early. It's definitely
No,
early,
and
but to
that's
get
true.
off like that,
And we
Yeah.
saw it last year with Denver, right? They didn't beat who they're supposed to be and messed up their seating, some would say, causing them to be knocked out earlier. So I definitely agree with that. Beat who you're supposed to beat you're really guaranteed to honestly be a 500 or more team. So,
Yeah.
and this West is really kind of loaded. So I agree. I agree on that having the maturity to do that, right?
Yeah.
Um, I don't know if I can honestly say the younger teams will be able to do that. So, and
No,
when I say
agreed.
younger teams, I understand I'm talking about Memphis. I'm
Yeah.
even talking about Sacramento to a certain extent, if we're
Hmm.
being honest, right? We already know what's going on with the youth that's happening in San Antonio. I know I said that they possibly could be a playoff team, but they're gonna lose some games that they don't need to be losing as well. So no,
Yeah.
I appreciate you bringing that point up, Ev, because I also think it's really underrated. And you hear announcers, especially veteran announcers, say that like you can't lose to teams you're not supposed to lose to. If
Hmm.
you beat the teams you're supposed to, you'll be in good shape. So shout out to them. Let's move on, guys, to another team that maybe we kind of overlooked. I know Lou's very fond of players on this team with the Phoenix Suns, with Devin Booker, Bradley Beal, Kevin Durant. They're all allegedly healthy. They're all on the court together. They're gelling a lot better than what we've seen in their past iterations. They're playing a little better defense as well too. Now, I'm not gonna lie, they're still giving up leads late in games. Teams are still coming back on them, but they're finding ways to close it out. What are you seeing? I'll start with you, Lou.
Yeah.
If
You
you
know,
believe, and if you don't, that's fine. What are you seeing from the
again,
Suns that gives you hope, if any?
look, they're only.
And
I
they're
don't know if I give
currently
them much.
third in the West right now, too. I'm
I don't
sorry,
know
but
if
go
I.
ahead.
Yeah, I don't know if I give them much more credence than the Golden State Warriors, and the reason being is with such a star-studded cast, I expect you to do better. Well, and also I'm
Better than
expecting you
5-1.
to. No, listen, I'm expecting you to
Oh,
win these games, right? Let's be real. Again, who have they played them? No. Now, well, I will say that win
you
against
played the
Dallas could be
Lakers.
seen as no. I mean, that win against Dallas could be seen as okay. Oh yeah, cool. That's a solid win, right? But you split one with the Lakers. You're supposed to be better than the Lakers, right? You're not supposed to lose that to the Lakers. Now, I want to see what they. Again, these next 5 games will tell me a little bit more about their identity. I don't even think that they beat Philadelphia tonight, right? As we're currently recording, they're playing Philadelphia. I don't think they beat Philadelphia, and that's already concerning in and of itself. Not being able to beat that team. So when we see them play Sacramento and Dallas, Oklahoma City, again, it's going to tell me a little bit more about what which team this is. But from a scoring perspective, Devin Booker and Kevin Durant are doing exactly what they're supposed to do. But what else do they have? So, like I said, not much more credence am I giving them to them than I am to Golden State. Early on, their schedule is pretty soft. So, like I said, in these next 5 to 10 games, it's going to really show me what team this is.
So Lou still thinks they're full of air. Got it.
Hello,
they're not.
bag of chips, baby.
They're not full. They're not fully loaded quite yet.
No.
All right. You buy this soft schedule, or are we seeing Durant and Booker come off the Olympic high and mow through these not of note, as Lou put it, teams in the West?
Well, I do think there's something to the camaraderie from playing together through last year, having the Olympic experience this year, coming in with a little more sense of synergy among themselves. Tyus Jones giving them 31 minutes a night, giving them 7 assists and 10 points. A little bit of a stabilizing force from the point guard standpoint. You mentioned something that's key. They both blow a lot of leads and give up a lot of, put themselves in a lot of holes that they've had to fight back from in these first few games of the season. So when you see that, on one hand, it's like, oh, okay, they're able to fight back. On the other hand, though, it's kind of concerning because it shows inconsistency and stretches where they're putting themselves in those deficits, and it's about being able to maintain for a full four quarters. 5-1 out the gate though with the new coach Budenholzer getting acclimated to his system. Though what that does speak to is the fact that they're finding ways to win and be successful and gel already in the early going, and that does speak well for them as they go throughout not only this year but the meat of their schedule as it gets more difficult coming up. A win like that against Dallas, you can't dismiss that because that's a team that's going to be right there on your block all year. A win against the Lakers, at least splitting with them, another one, a team that's going to be right there on your block this year. So kind of the same thing as I said about Golden State. You've got to win those games against the teams that are right there, projected to be right around you. The key to this team and maintaining it, I think, is going to be health. We've seen Bradley Beal miss 2 games already, and when he's in the game as well, giving you 17 in game, so it's not as if he's a far cry from what he was giving you in those Wizards days, right? So it still kind of feels like he's almost, dare I say, an afterthought on this team, and they're just too guard heavy, honestly.
Yeah,
Too many of their key
100%.
players, play the guard
And
position.
they
So
score the same way.
yeah,
They
exactly.
pound the ball. They score. Even though we praise Kevin Durant for being an efficient scorer, but it's still dribble move. It's not in a easy
It's
back
time to guard.
cuts.
Time
Yeah,
to
yeah.
guard. Yeah.
They don't score easily, and it's really pounding the ball. And if we're honest, if we looked at Bradley Beal's career, he's a momentum. He needs reps to get going. Same thing
Mhm.
with Booker. Kevin Durant, not so much. He's just automatic when he steps on the court.
Mhm.
But Booker and Beal, they need somebody to wind them up. They need those reps. They need those shots. They need coming off the screens and shooting. And there's only one ball. So there we have it. The only light some people are seeing and calling for at the end of the tunnel, we have seen a little improvement in Devin Booker's defense, and we've seen an improvement in Bradley Beal's defense. But an improvement does not make a character. That's not who they are. That's not who they're going to be. They've made their living off of being prolific scorers. So I think they've maximized their output on the defensive end. They don't have that what they miss, which is the Mikal Bridges identity, that two-way guard, right? Somebody who can focus more on the defense and just get his points off the scraps, the corner threes, the putbacks off the rebound.
Fast breaks and so on. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not Bradley Beal and that's not Kevin Durant or that's not Booker. That's the thing that really concerns me is that when they come up against those truly defensive teams, they're going to grow stagnant. And Budenholzer is a good coach. I just don't know if he can draw anything off offensively to remedy this situation.
Nah,
And I don't
man.
know who can. Really, Kerr maybe with the motion offense, right? Like that type of offense, maybe.
Yeah, but
Um,
Booker and Steph aren't the same type of guy. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
I mean they're not. The reason I say that is because I know Kevin Durant thrived in that offense. Um,
Yes,
I
I would
just, I
too.
just don't know. I don't know what the solution is. Honestly,
Man,
I don't know what the
Bill
solution
needs to be on the second unit. First off,
is. Stagger him off like that.
that's the first thing that needs to
Is he
happen.
mature enough to do it though?
That's not why they brought him in. So how do you then go about and change that conversation? We'll see.
I mean, that's a tough pill to swallow, but nevertheless, we move on. It's anyway. They're off to a better start than they were. I think they're gonna do better this year than they did last year because they're healthy. But I don't see them going too far. But guys, let's move on to the scary hours. We just had Halloween. It's getting scary here, guys. It's getting scary. And not in a good way. So we have some teams that are really, really just scaring us and causing us for concern right now. They really are. I'm just gonna start off with the Bucks, y'all. The Bucks. I know they talk about fear the deer, but jeez, there's a lot of fear here right now, man. And I like this team. I want this team to be successful. Y'all know I was going to clown me and roll his eyes. Damn, I'm a fan of him. That's my guy. That's my guy. He's been doing his part, dropping points, but this team is not looking good, man. They're not looking good at all. They're dropping games left and right. They're 1-6 right now. What's going on with the Bucks? Go ahead, Lou. What's going on with the Bucks, man?
They're deer caught in the headlight.
Like,
That's what's wrong with them right now,
sit
bro.
right there.
Yeah, I mean, and ironically, the one team they beat is in the same boat as them, and that's the Philadelphia 76ers. No, I mean it's the experiment. You know, we all had hopes based off of the team being healthy, Dame coming back, looking like he's in better shape and better basketball shape, ready for this season. We talked about Giannis coming back this season with a vengeance and potentially being an MVP candidate. And saying, okay, cool. They have had another year. They've had their year to work out some kinks, and this year they should be able to hit the ground running. And instead of hitting the ground running, they've fallen flat. It's Lillard and Giannis just scoring. They're doing what they need to do, but maybe something that in terms of the was mentioned in our last episode. One of the biggest Achilles heels. Maybe it is Middleton. Maybe they need to move on from Middleton sooner than later and see how they're going to shake up this roster. Because right now, it's not looking good at all. And then look, our Pod Mama just gave us some
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 breaking news. Breaking
news.
news from Pod Mamba. The Bucks
Word.
look awful because of Doc Rivers and Darvin Scam
Yeah, well,
are
look,
the coaches.
look, they showed what their record was with our dear brother Adrian. So, and it's completely different, right? So, is coaching an issue as well? To be looking this bad this early on is very concerning, especially again. Who are they playing of note? Nah, no, jokes aside, they're playing
They've had a
Cleveland.
tough schedule.
No,
Cleveland
they've had a
twice.
pretty
They've
Cleveland
had
twice,
Memphis.
Memphis, but that team is supposed to beat Memphis, right? Milwaukee's supposed to beat Memphis. Cleveland is the team that I expect. Okay, cool.
Nah, they're supposed to be Cleveland too. They're supposed to be Cleveland. They're
Look,
expected to beat everybody. They're
that's
expected
true.
as if we're holding them to expectations, not the
Yes,
reality what we're seeing, right? But to what people
Boston is
expected
supposed to
them
be
to
the only
be.
team.
Boston's
Boston is
supposed to be the
supposed to
only
be the only
loss that
team.
they're supposed to have.
Yeah,
They're supposed to beat
yeah.
everybody.
And then, but they're not looking good at all. So, I expect us to see some shakeups happening very soon, especially after this in-season tournament.
Can I
Go
also
ahead,
just
Palma.
point out that the reason why Milwaukee is losing is because they're playing Torian Prince the fourth most minutes on the team? That's not a coincidence. I'm just saying, as someone who watched him
Is
play
that
for 82 games last year.
is that what Darvin scam did?
Is it a coincidence that Darvin goes back to Milwaukee and all of a sudden his son Torian Prince is now on the starting lineup? I'm just
No,
saying.
you're
I just
not.
want to throw it out there.
I
Yo,
mean,
Well,
a
it kind
pattern's
of
a pattern.
it speaks to this roster construction. First off,
Oh man,
I
talk
mean,
about it. Ev. Talk about it. What's going on?
well, the problem here is simple. Giannis is the only player on this team that can play defense. Now I'm gonna start.
mm,
I'm gonna start with your guy, but I'm not gonna end with him. But listen, Dame can work out with Tony Goggins or whoever he is and do all the 700 push-ups and 1,000 planks and curls and squats and whatever he did during the off season. But what he didn't do is defensive slides. All right,
He didn't
left
do
and right.
that.
Cause Dame
no
still doesn't
shuffling his
know
feet.
exactly. He still doesn't play defense. Okay.
Bring out
Um,
the cones. Bring out the
yeah,
cones.
But he
Torian
gets
Prince.
buckets, okay? But go ahead, my
Listen,
bad.
he gives
My bad.
buckets, but he gives up buckets. All right. Brook Lopez, not the defender he was 4 years ago. Okay. Chris Middleton is not saving this. Gary Trent, not known for his defense. Torian Prince, not known for his defense. If he is, he's been scamming. Okay. Um, Bobby Portis,
Oh yeah,
Pat
about to say
Connaughton,
Bobby.
whoever else, okay? Giannis is the only player on this team that plays defense. They are old and they are slow. and it shows. They average 111 points per game. They give up 118 points a game. That's 24th in the league. If you don't play defense, you're not going to win games. And
So
Giannis
so
is going to get frustrated. Let's just be honest.
so Milwaukee is who we thought Golden State was gonna be.
At this juncture, they are a team that doesn't even look like they're having fun because
Nope.
they're tired of watching the other team score on them. And let's continue. Pa Mamba made a point. Darvin Ham, 2 years where his coaching acumen was questioned vigorously. Doc Rivers, he was done as a coach. Okay.
Mm.
He was done. And then you bring in a recently fired coach, all right, to say he's the one that's going to fix your problems because he gets along well with the player, with veterans. They don't need somebody that gets along well. They need somebody that draws up defensive schemes. And Darvin Ham isn't it. So I don't know who is for this team. So I don't know where the help is coming from.
Call Mark Jackson.
Listen, call
Call Jeff
Tyrone.
Gundy,
Call
but
somebody.
he's
Shoot,
working with
any of
somebody
that.
else right now.
Let me toss.
That's
Let me
Go
toss
ahead.
this. No, you go ahead first, Hans. I'll toss it out afterwards.
I was just going to talk about Giannis possibly, as Pop
Where does
Mama
he
puts it
go?
on the screen.
I
Where does
think.
he go?
Well, I think before they get to that point, I think they have to entertain another trade, and that's for one Dame Lillard. This hasn't
Ooh.
worked. He doesn't want to be there. He doesn't want to be in Milwaukee. It wasn't his preference. I tossed this out to the group earlier. Just a question. Jimmy Butler for Dame Lillard. Who
Mm.
says no? Who has to throw stuff into the deal to make it work? What are your thoughts?
They definitely
It,
have to throw stuff in there to make it work.
is Tyler
Who's
Hero included?
that? That would be funny. That would be fun. That'd be a full circle moment right there. Um, I asked that just because I think before they get to the point of Giannis looking to leave, they have to get to a point of cutting their losses and just saying, look, this is not working. We have to try something else while we can before we lose the most important player in this team's recent history. So,
that's a ballsy move. According to Pop Mama, per sources that he'd offer Tyler Hero in a future first round pick for Dame Lillard.
package is still on the table.
I don't know. That's a ballsy move. That's a ballsy move. I would have got rid of Middleton before I got rid of Dame.
Yeah, but Middleton has no trade value.
His stock is low. Don't get me wrong. His stock is low. For me, am in 100% agreement as somebody who's watched a couple of Bucks games, and the thing that sticks out to me is what Ev was saying. They don't look like they're having fun. There's no fun out there. They don't look. They look like they're struggling when they have a lead. You see when the team has a lead and they're struggling to keep it. That's what they look like. That's really what they look like, and it's like we got to hurry up and put these points up because we know this other team's going to come back. That's how they're playing. They're playing with fear. They're not playing with joy or anything like that. It's like we got to get these points up because they're coming. They're coming, guys. They're coming. No, you can stop them. You know that, right? Like you can stop them.
We think
That's
they
a
can
good.
stop them, but
Say it again.
I said we think they can stop them. Now, clearly, they know better.
No better than
Yo,
we
so
do.
you so what's up with you, bro?
All right, yeah. Let's move on. Let's move on. Another scary hours, fellas. Scary hours time. Very depressing subject line. Okay. LaMelo. LaMelo. He's back. To his credit, his jumper is looking as disjointed as ever, but it's going in. But that's not necessarily translating to wins. It's translating to highlights, fun to watch basketball sequences. But at the end of the day, the W is what matters, right?
Yeah.
What's going on with Charlotte? Is that a situation where they need to just give it up? And like Ev was saying, do we need to include them, package that into the Bucks, Miami, have a three-way trade kind of situation? You know, I like how Brandon Miller's looking. He had a a glute issue right now. Is this team ever really going to get up off the ground, man? Is this the Jordan curse? Him not being a great exec? What is going on with Charlotte, man? Are we doomed to repeat the same cycle? When does it end? When does Groundhog Day end for the Charlotte Hornets?
Let me just start by saying that it pains me to see the Hornets so bad for so long, simply because they may have the single best set of jerseys in NBA history.
No,
And
you're not wrong. Fire.
Every
and
time.
the
Fire.
the legacy of Alonzo Mourning, Larry Johnson, Del
Larry
Curry,
Johnson, yes.
and Muggsy
I'm about to
Bogues
say that LJ, bro.
deserves better than this. Deserves better. And what frustrates me about this team is that every year I look at their roster and they add one young piece or one piece that just makes me think, hey, this may be the year that it gels. You've got LaMelo Ball, who's averaging 30 a game, who's been an all-star, who legit, when he's healthy, gives you easy 25, 6, and 6.
Yep.
You have Miles Bridges, where maybe we could talk about him, soon, without having to talk about the horrible things that he did first. Horrible, don't condone it at all. But from a talent standpoint, tremendous athletic talent. Brandon Miller comes in, looks like diet, zero sugar, Paul George in a way. You get where I'm getting at, right? And then
I
you
get where you're going.
you got the lob threat with Mark Williams, who also can't stay on the court. Your 7-foot center that seems like an ideal fit for the players that's around him. And then you bring in some veteran help this year, and you look at it and you say, hey, this team, new coach, get along well, vibes high in the preseason. This may be the year that they break out and make some
Mm-hmm.
noise. And yet they still stutter out the gate on the way that they're looking right now. Come on, Pop Mamba.
You
Um,
thought you had a recipe for success here with
a
this
recipe
roster.
for at least rising out of the basement.
Yeah. Yeah.
But in the early going, it looks like that's what they're maintaining. So if it's not this roster, it's almost like you got to start over, and you hate to see that because the pieces look like they should gel well together.
Mm-hmm. Hey man, yeah, like Hans said, man, maybe Charlotte and Milwaukee need to start having some conversation.
I just don't know what it is with them. Because Ev's not wrong. When you look at, because I want to compare them to the Rockets, but it's not what the Rockets. The Rockets have roster issues. The Rockets have like severe roster issues and need to shake that up. They don't necessarily have bad
If
fit.
anything,
They
I
don't have
would I
bad
would
fit.
compare them more to the Pelicans.
The Pelicans are a mess. They're not as a mess as the Pelicans are.
Yeah,
Like their
but
pieces actually fit, and like Ev was saying, like you can see it. I don't know what it is, man. Can you win a team with LaMelo at the head?
I mean that's the question, right? Is this something
Like,
where he
can you?
does he have the floor presence,
Yeah,
right? Or is he
he's not his
just
brother.
yeah?
He's not Lonzo. Like
Yeah.
Lonzo, the way he orchestrates an offense, it's different. I guess here's what it is. For me, LaMelo is looking for the bag. the flashy play. He's looking for the bag.
So he
Whereas
sounds like a
Lonzo,
nut. Sounds like another Melo
right? Lonzo's looking for the
going
right
after
play.
the
Go
bag.
ahead, Pop Mamba.
This is why LeVar said he needs all his boys be playing together because they all do something that the other one can't. LaMelo could score that Lonzo can't score, but Lonzo could facilitate that LaMelo can't. And Leandro is just there. I don't know. I don't know what he can do.
I'm about to
He's
say,
just playing
here's the
defense, baby.
He's just there for a big
if
body.
if the Nazis
Oh man, stop it. Which hold on. I, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't. This
go
is
ahead.
just going off of all assumptions. Giannis didn't play tonight. No excuse. They just should have beat Cleveland. They lost by 2 points. But anyway, Giannis didn't play tonight. So because Giannis didn't play, Thanasis doesn't show up on the roster either. Like are those two mutually exclusive? Is that how that works? Like, hey man, yeah, you don't even need to show up. Your bro ain't playing. Go ahead and go play
They
with him.
ride the
Like,
games together, Hans. If Giannis
oh, okay,
wasn't coming,
okay.
all right. If
Okay.
you're my ride to the court and you're
You're
not going
right.
to the court, I'm not
You can't
balling.
make it.
Exactly.
Yeah, man.
Okay.
There's no
My bad.
assistant coach that will pick you up. Like, come on.
Right. There's no Ubers, taxis.
There's no other teammate that likes you to bring.
No. Whatever
Oh wow.
Giannis was going to do, he said, "My brother's coming with me." And
Okay.
clearly, he runs the organization, so that was that. But back to nepotism on another team, where Charlotte messed up was that. Granted, he went through injuries. He's just getting back on the court, but when they had the chance, they should have signed Lonzo in free agency. What was that, 2.5 years ago, and paired
Mm.
with his brother. Then they haven't done anything else since then. That may have brought out the best in both of them. But really, where I see this going is LaMelo being one of the next 2 or 3 superstars that we get the trade demand from. Because let's be honest, losing in Charlotte is going to grow old with him, and he's going to want to improve his star visibility somewhere else, somewhere
I'm
soon.
surprised he hasn't tried to go be a Laker yet, because that's exactly where I see my youngin' going.
Oh, he had to get that extension first, but now that he has it, absolutely, and get his apparel brand, in a major market.
Him and
That's
AD
coming.
playing.
Listen, it's on the way. It's on the way. But yeah, Charlotte,
Be a better.
Pop Mamba's in a hurry to move on to this last topic. We got one more team to discuss, sir. You all here?
Well, you don't like us talking about your Lakers? You don't want LaMelo?
No, we're talking about Minnesota
You don't
coming
get-
down to earth.
You don't want LaMelo.
You don't want to talk that LaMelo for D'Lo and three number one trades. We got it.
Oh Lord.
We got it.
All right, y'all. Let's move on to the next topic. The Utah Jazz are out here clearly Snowtime in Salt Lake City, as the Pod Mamba has so eloquently put it. The Utah Jazz, I think they won their first one tonight, or on their way to winning their first one tonight, y'all. They're clearly tanking
beat?
and in the Cooper Flag Duke sweepstakes here.
Who they
I'll
beat?
let Ev lead this out. Huh?
Who they beat?
The Utah Jazz?
Yeah.
Stop it, man. They beat the Bulls,
man.
man.
Oh,
They beat the Bulls, man.
no, I know. I was going to see. I was trying to find it out.
Okay.
Didn't happen when it mattered, though. Okay.
Ev, what's your take on the Utah Jazz clearly throwing the towel in right now, bro?
Listen, for the good people of the state of Utah, for the city of Salt Lake, hear me clearly. Danny Ainge is doing you a great deed. Okay? You could have tanked in any year, but this is the year for you to tank. And I know people are going to think that I'm just saying it because Cooper Flag is supposed to be an exceptional talent, one of the best talents coming out in years. And by all accounts, he is. But it's not just because of his play. Hear me clearly, Utah. You are uniquely positioned, okay? One of your iconic players, probably the best player in Utah Jazz history that you still claim is John Stockton, okay? One of the best backcourts in the history of this team. NBA Finals appearances twice. John Stockton and Jeff Hornacek, okay? Victor Wembanyama, 5-5-5-5-5 game the other night. Only other player to do that in NBA history, Andrei Kirilenko. All right? One of the best defenders in Utah Jazz history, leading shot blocker multiple seasons by the name of Mark Eaton.
I'm seeing a theme here.
Are you seeing the theme here?
I'm seeing a theme here.
Good people.
Coincides with Snowtime in Salt Lake City.
Look,
That's-
I don't know why you're not addressing guys like Polynese.
Listen.
Way to pull that out your bag, man.
All great players, all great players in their own right? But
no Russell.
What we need, great people of Utah, is for you to lean into your identity all of the way. Okay?
Be who you are. I like
Be
that.
who you are. You've got Larry Markkinen. You need to team him up with Cooper Flag. Okay? But you know what? You don't even need to stop there. You need to be the team that trades for Tyler Hero. You got me?
Tyler, Lori, Cooper. Hey.
Listen.
Who says no?
Tyler Hero's too black for that city. Just saying.
Oh my gosh, bro. Leave it
Tyler
to
Hero is
urban,
from Wisconsin, okay? He is from Wisconsin. He will find a way to fit in perfectly in the great Salt Lakes of Utah, okay?
Get Peyton Pritchard, man.
Listen, you took the name out of my mouth.
Get unseasoned Curry, man. Get him out of here, man.
They need to get a white man like Jonathan Isaac.
Dare I say, call the Los Angeles Lakers.
Oh, connect.
Listen,
Get some Dalton or some AR out there.
I'm going bigger than Austin Reeves. Okay?
AR.
People of Utah.
I like that.
If you're going to tank for Cooper Flag, make this team the identity that you need. Remember the all-white jerseys with the white snow caps on them?
Yes.
Another tremendous jersey choice.
Classic.
Iconic jersey.
Very classic.
Imagine that lineup I just laid out for you in that all-white jersey with the white snow-capped mountains.
Yes.
Danny Ainge, make it happen. I see what you're doing, Danny, and I'm just here to tell you, I support it. Okay? I support it.
Right here in 1944, as we
listen, man. The league is 90% black, man. All right, let's shake it up a little bit. Just have one team that leans all the way into it, man.
What a time and year you have chosen to make such a point.
I said it with my Obama shirt on. Okay, so
he did. He did.
Okay.
Hey, yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. The white basketball player is making a comeback in the NBA these last few years.
Okay, if you were to take out all the Europeans,
who's homie from who's playing for Houston right now? Who's killing it?
You see if you have to do that.
Alper Sengun.
No, not
Sengun.
Sengun. Not Sengun.
I'm about to say
I'm
he
not
because
talking about
he's
him.
pretty sure he's
I'm
Spanish.
talking about the rookie.
Let's
The
say
rookie.
Reed Shepard.
Yeah, Shepard. He's killing it, isn't he?
Fam, you couldn't remember his name.
Yeah, but that's because I don't really remember this rookie class. This rookie class is awful.
Just say respect.
I don't know if they're making a resurgence, similar to what Lou's saying, unless they're European. Because Luca he's not, white. Joker's not white.
Yeah, they're white. They're just not American.
Yeah, the American
They're a different brand
Caucasian
of
basketball
white.
player.
You can't be any more white than Serbian. I don't know what you're talking about.
Nah. Peyton Pritchard. That's what we're talking about. Okay.
Listen,
His real name is Peyton
I'm
Pritchard.
talking all melanin deficient players, okay? And I mean, lean all the way in there. I mean, embrace the skiing. Just think about the marketing opportunities that are here.
They're gonna have popcorn with no salt at the stadium,
Yo, Hans, yo.
Who's the
served with
last African
water.
American player?
Hans.
Hold on. Who's the last African American superstar that has wanted to stay in Utah? Let's just be honest. So why not embrace your culture? That's all. That's all I'm
I
saying.
mean,
Oh, what's the name? Oh, Gordon Hayward.
Should have never left. Where'd his
that's true.
career go?
That
To his defense, he went to another
if-
counterpart
yo, you know what?
in the
He
East.
got-
I'm just saying, to his
too close.
defense,
He flew too
he
close.
tried to
the
make
sun.
Boston white again,
He flew
and it
too
ain't work
close to
out.
the sun.
That's what it was. He tried to make Boston white again, and Boston knows where their meal tickets from.
How close are we to getting canceled, Pop Mama? Let us know. Are we?
We're not too far off. We're not too far
Are
off.
we towing it?
We're teetering on the edge. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, I'll bring us back. My bad.
This
My
probably
bad,
might
my
be
bad.
the most wild and crazy podcast we've done in a long time.
But
Maybe
in
ever.
all
Maybe.
seriousness, though, I think they should commit to the tank. Just lean in all the way. I'll say that. Like we were talking about before, when has Utah ever really tanked for anything? Can't really think about it. I say lean into it. Put it out there. Let the league go on notice. Like Ev mentioned before, in a Western Conference where everybody's competitive and trying to actually get better this year, they're the ones that are like, we'll be all right. Maybe next year. So
Yeah,
I
I
say
mean,
lean into
realistically,
it.
are they really going to be able to compete this year? No. Jordan Clarkson not moving the needle for you.
Listen, man, I'm gonna hearken some words that you're saying. Is Laurie for real? Like he'll give you a flash, and then it's like, what happened? Like,
Is all my hope going to be in Patty Mills? Like, come on.
like what happened? So I don't know. I don't believe in Laurie.
I want to see him again. Well, I want to see this version of Laurie as the second best player on a team, not the best player on the team. I think it would have been interesting to see him in Golden State. It would have been interesting. I'd have been interested in seeing him in San Antonio. Just seeing him in a different environment. This version of him, right? Because the previous version of him wasn't at this caliber. He was frustrated. He seemed like unreached potential. But whatever he found in his game, I just want to see him on a team with good talent.
Here's another scenario before we close it out. Pelicans. As much as Evan has appealed to the Utah crowd, I'm appealing to New Orleans. Listen, guys. You guys got to win this year. The Super Bowl's in your city. People are riding for your man Wayne. You just had Wheezy Fest or whatever you call it. You guys are having a great year. Like I said, you're having a great year. Bow out. Sell it for pieces, man. Sell it for pieces. All I'm saying is Cooper Flag might look good for you guys too. Ship out Brandon. Ship out CJ. And try it with Zion again, and try it with somebody else. At the end of the day, it's not working. It's not working, man. I think they're continuing to crash out, like I said. Like I said, with evidence, my Portland Trailblazers, who are not the greatest team, just beat them 2 out of 3 times right now. Shout out to us, squad. So all I'm saying is, listen, man. At what point do you pack it in? At what point do you pack it in, man? It's not working. Brandon Ingram's not here. He's not here mentally. He's gone. He's checked out.
Keep 100. You might have to sell Zion too, man.
I would sell everything and start all
Yeah.
over. But I also understand you have to show some type of face to the people, right? And you've invested so much, et cetera, et cetera. Maybe you rearrange the pieces around him again. He seems a little energetic this year. He's connected and everything. He probably feels like he has something to prove. So you keep that energy around, but you don't keep Brandon Ingram energy around. You don't keep the dejection that CJ showing around. You know, like, you got to sell it for parts, man.
I think the challenge with them is that you lose DeJounte his first game of the season with a broken hand. So
Yeah.
you don't even get a chance to see them look different, right? And I think that was their goal. Like, let's just look different
Were they
this year.
gonna look different though, Ev, with with Harden?
I think that was the hope, right? With Brandon Ingram, like you mentioned, they tried to trade him all summer, but they couldn't. They don't want to give him that extension. And with Zion, it continues to be, he gets close and then frustrates you, right? Whether it be injury or looking, lackadaisical on the court. So I mean, I agree with what you're saying. I think the challenge is finding suitable trades for enough of those players that you can keep your identity. I guarantee you they would love to keep Trey Murphy, Herb Jones, probably DeJounte since they still got him, and then turn all those other pieces into players that fit around those three as a new identity. The challenge is finding what you're looking for with those three big names and three big contracts at the top of your roster.
Hey, man, Houston should engage in trade Jabari for BI.
I mean,
with some other pieces, but
that would be almost like an addition by subtraction, some changes.
I thought what's her name was gonna go after BI, Philly.
Who's that? Well,
instead
I think
of PG,
they got Paul George. Yeah, I think Paul
instead
George
of PG, I thought they were gonna go after goal. Why though? He's so expensive.
Yeah,
he's so expensive. Like, you, at the end of the day, you need to understand you got a big man who's not going to be on the court all the time. You got to bolster your lineup.
If
you're worried
you got to
about
pay Maxey.
But if you're worried about personalities and locker room issues, like attitude issues, you're already dealing with Embiid. Adding BI to that mix.
But I think BI needs to change the scenery and that'll change his attitude. I think New Orleans is sucking him dry.
I guess, but he didn't have the greatest attitude in Los Angeles either.
That was the LeBron effect.
Yeah, he's had that face since Duke.
Yeah, that's just his face. He's just, but hey, Duke could do that to you, man.
Hey, Dookie.
Surrounded by all that snow. Anyway, listen, man, I brought us back right too. My bad, y'all. I'm sorry. It's the late hours where we're recording.
Pop Mamba, edit this good. Keep us employed, okay?
Listen, man, keep us on the good side. Pop Mamba, work your magic, y'all. As always, y'all, we're gonna end it right here before I say anything else that gets us canceled. Thank you so much for joining us here on the 303 podcast. Please make sure to check us out on our social media and check us out on YouTube, y'all. We appreciate it. Thank you. See you guys next week. Take care.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the episode, give us a thumbs up. If you really, really enjoyed it, hit the subscribe button and the notification button so you can keep up with us every week. Be sure to follow us on all our socials at the 3on3 podcast. Hey, got a question, topic you want us to talk about? hit us up on our email at 3on3podcast@gmail.com. We appreciate y'all. Tune in next week.